Hello guys, welcome to another weekly breakdown video. So this week I'll be breaking down the last week of November, as you can see, starting from 25th of November. And if I show you the news and just a quick update, here we can see today we caught a beautiful buy opportunity here on Euro USD on the live markets using our strategy, using our MAC model. It would have been a beautiful trade, but I couldn't take it because I was attending a funeral. That's not a problem, but I have learned from this trade, and this is clearly showing me that my strategy is working, which is more than good, right? So now we can clearly see the week starts from 25th of November. Monday, no news. Tuesday, CB consumer confidence. Wednesday, there is FOMC meeting minutes. Thursday, there is German prelim CPI. BOE government barely speaks. Right now, I am doing 10 backtests per day, right? That is the reason why I can't do them as in detail like I used to do when I used to do 5 backtests per day. I have noticed one thing: when I'm doing 5 backtests per day, that is when I'm taking a lot of time, and I will take months to complete my backtesting, which is totally fine. But obviously now I feel like I have got a very good understanding about my strategy, like the back of my hand, and also my psychology is at its best right now. So looking forward to learning from the live markets will be better right now. So I have already committed myself to complete this backtesting. That is why I'm doing it. To be honest, I can backtest this much and I can call it a backtesting, and I can fully focus on front testing, but no, that would not fulfill me. So I would do my backtesting regardless, and yeah, after that I will do the front testing. So right now the main focus is backtesting. That is why I'm also not able to focus fully on the front testing, right? So now let me complete the backtesting, and then we'll fully 100% focus on front testing. Whatever knowledge I have, whatever I have learned in the markets, everything, I will journal the trades. I will learn every single week. I will learn, make mistakes, learn from them, and then not make them again. That is how you improve as a trader. So yeah, that's just a quick yap session. So now going on the weekly, now talking about work, here we can clearly see the weekly bias is bearish on GBP USD, and on DXY the weekly bias is bullish, right? So now that is exactly what we need to see on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, you can see, look, before I used to explain so many things about the market conditions or markets, right? But right now I'm making this video at 12 p.m. at the night, which is a beautiful dedication by me. And whenever I'm working at night, it is very, very good. But yeah, obviously I also have to sleep, I believe. So yeah, and also there are many mosquitoes here. I'm literally no problem. I gotta get out of this situation. So on the daily time frame, we can clearly see my weekly bias is bearish, daily bias is bearish. On Monday I will be looking for sells, beautiful sells. Daily, weekly and daily are aligning. So on Monday I will look for trades, supply, demand, fair value gap, market structure shifts. So on DXY I will go to confirm my bias, which is bullish, right? Beautiful bullish break of structure to the upside. Yes, there is a wick, but obviously I go with the majority, so it was looking like sells to me. And also on Monday there was no news, so the same drill. Go to the 4 hourly, look for some market structure shifts, and on the 4 hourly there was a supply zone right there. I can spot it right away, but I have not marked it. Why, I don't know. So now going on the H1, I waited for the Asian range to close, and literally when I was waiting for the Asian range to close, it was a very, very huge gap right here. And whenever a gap like this, bullish gap or bearish gap forms, a buy side gap or sell side gap forms, it gets filled most of the times. I've seen it so many times, gets filled, right? So right now we can see there was a gap open in the market, and I personally anticipated this gap to get filled, and also my bias was bearish. My higher time frame bias was bearish, so it made so much of sense to come back and fill up this gap right here. So on Monday I didn't take a trade because Monday it was so clear to look for sells to fill this new day opening gap. Whenever there is a huge gap like that, most of the times it gets filled. I have also written that, but I didn't take the trade because I am doing it at the night time, and I didn't take this trade because it was not in my session, I believe. And also there was no Asian session sweep, as you can see. Yes, you can argue I could have entered after something like this. Maybe something like this would be okay, but obviously I don't wanna do something like this. This was, to be honest, a valid trade. Now I'm looking back at it. it made so much of sense to take this trade to fill up this new day opening gap, right? So that gave us so much confluence. So Monday could have been a potential winner, but I didn't took the trade. So if I didn't took the trade, I didn't took the trade. Nothing, we can't do nothing at that on that, right? So according to how this Monday candle closed, now my bias is not clear, because on the daily time frame we can see there was a fair value gap here on the daily, which I have not marked, but obviously I can see it. The Monday closed as a very, very tricky candle right there. So also it was not aligning with DXY on Monday. DXY clearly closed as a bearish candle, a Morobuzu candlestick, and GBP USD was very, very tricky on Monday. How it closed, it was very, very tricky. So that is why when I go to Tuesday, look for news, there is no news, I will not trade Tuesday. The fact that I will not trade Tuesday is because Monday candle closed very, very tricky, so we'll wait for Tuesday to close, right? So that is exactly what I've written, and that is exactly what I will do. I waited for Tuesday to close. Now according to how this Tuesday candle closed, Tuesday is a doji right here. So Monday was looking for sales, could have caught a beautiful sell to target the new day opening gap. Tuesday, my bias was not clear, I didn't do the trade, so waited for Tuesday to close, and after Tuesday closed as an indecision candle itself, and it is a doji. And if I go to DXY to show you the bias, on DXY the same sort of candle appeared. Just what changed was Tuesday went up and make a small wick to the upside, a weekly wick to the upside, showing us that now it is making a wick to the upside. Now it can continue to the downside, but also now it is in a demand zone, so it can have a potential rejection. So anything can happen in the market, and right now the price is in a very indecision period right now. So that is why even Wednesday I didn't took the trade. I just skipped it because it didn't make sense. And whenever the market isn't making sense to you and you can't understand it, so that is when you should be away from the market. Only trade the markets whenever you understand it. It is clearly showing you the bias on the daily time frame, right? Here it was not showing me any bias, so I didn't took the trade. On Wednesday I was looking for nothing, and now just because I waited Tuesday and Wednesday to close, on Thursday, going on Thursday, my bias is so clear, being bullish. And if my bias is bullish, I will target this daily fair value gap right here to fill up this fair value gap. And on DXY, my bias is clearly bearish to fill up this fair value gap right here on the daily. I didn't mark it, but I can literally see it right here. It was a daily fair value gap here, which can get filled easily on Thursday. And if I show you the news, and on Thursday there was German prelim CPI all day news. And yeah, that is when I go to the lower time frames to look for some market structure shifts. And on the H4 there was a beautiful change of character right here, a beautiful change of character. That is when I go to the H1 to look for some sort of demand zones. And basically I get some beautiful demands. There was no demand zone as of now, but when I go to the M30 time frame, on the M1 there is no demand zone, right? There is a New York session huge move right here, so obviously on the M30 or M15 there will be a demand zone, so I can monitor that zone. On the M30 there was a beautiful New York session demand zone right here, which was so high probability of making a move. London session went down exactly to our zone, but the only reason I didn't took this trade, my bias was bullish. So obviously on the M5 we can see this is the lower high, this is the lower low, right? So if I'm looking for buy, I am looking for a higher high, change of character, and then at the equilibrium I will be looking for an entry. But in this case, literally the price did the opposite. The price literally made a move to the downside, making a lower low, and that is not what we want to see in the markets. So that is why I didn't execute the trade on Thursday. As you can see, Thursday was a very tricky day to trade. And if I show you the weekly callouts, here we can see on Thursday the move did happen to the upside, but London session was literally consolidating, so we didn't do the trades. Simple as that, right? Yes, on this day the move did happen, the move did end up happening. My bias being bullish was literally correct, but obviously it didn't happen at my time, or it was the price action was tricky, so I didn't took the trade. Simple as that. So Thursday was a winning day, to be honest. Monday was a win. Tuesday, Wednesday was doji, so didn't do the trade. Thursday was a win. The market conditions right now is so good, to be honest. The bias is so clear, the weekly bias is so clear, the daily bias is so clear. The market conditions are so good, and whenever the market conditions are good, you want to trade, right? And whenever the market conditions are going to one direction, meaning either bullish or bearish, that is when you should be very perspicacious and only look for trades with the bias. So now, according to how this Thursday candle closed, there is a fair value gap to the downside. Also, there is a fair value gap to the upside. So anything can happen in the market. So going on Friday, it would make more sense to buy according to how this Thursday candle closed right here. And if I go to DXY, it also made sense to sell on DXY according to how this candle closed. So my bias is clearly bullish, but the momentum on Thursday was very, very low, as you can see right there. And if I show you the news, this supply zone is also invalidated now. And if I show you the news, BOE government barely speaks. So I'm looking for buys on the H4. There will be nothing more changed, as I can see. Yes, on the H1 there is some sort of demand zones or not. So I waited for the Asian range. The Asian range was very, very big, as you can see. The Asian range was The Asian range was very big, as you can see. The previous day high was swept pretty early on. It was a 23 pips. It was not a big Asian range, obviously, but if I go to the lower time frames, the move literally there was no clear zones to trade from. I remember there were no clear zones on Friday, no clear zones to trade from, and also London was very volatile. So whenever the London is volatile and makes the move, New York session, getting a move on New York session is very, very tricky. So here I will show you why I have written that. The Lux trading sessions, London session was so trending to the downside. So for New York session to go opposite to London and make a move to the upside didn't make so much of sense. So I didn't took the trade on Friday, and also it is a Friday, so on and so forth. So it was a very, very good week to trade from, to be honest. But now going on to the next week, my bias is so clear, being bullish because of this fair value gap. It makes so much of sense next week to go and fill up this weekly fair value gap right here. And yeah, this was the weekly breakdown for you guys. It was a bullish candle, as you can see, and this is just a quick overview. I am doing the backtest very thoroughly, right, when I'm doing, but while making the video I am making it as quick as possible, just to remind me when I watch it back, so how to trade or how to do things in certain market conditions. Now we can see Monday went down, Tuesday went down, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday went up, and clearly we can see this is a bullish weekly profiling right here. And yeah, whenever a bearish candle is appearing, a profiling like this appears, and whenever a bullish candle is appearing in the markets, a profiling like this appears in the market, as we can see. For example, both examples just right in front of our eyes right here. So yeah, this was the weekly breakdown. Hope you guys learned something from this, and yeah, catch you on the next one.